I know. I mean, after Saturday, I went out Saturday. I had to work the next day at 5 p.m. and I didn't make it at 5 p.m. I laid down at about 9 a.m. and I paid somebody $60 to go work for me. So I was like, "Save my life, please."
I don't miss those days at all, but
it was a fun day.
Yeah. So, I guess we're gonna go with Pop. There's been a lot to talk about that we have yet to talk about, and if some of y'all may recall, a little streaming service that could
move over, Netflix and chill. Disney Plus this dick is in the house.
Or Disney Plus and bust, or Disney Plus and thrust.
I like Disney Plus this dick the best. It uses the plus way better, because plus and thrust doesn't sound right. Disney Plus thrust might be better, but you got to use the plus correctly. Use what you got in the title.
Fair enough. That little thing, that behemoth of a thing launched, and for me, I'm already bored with it. But as you guys have pointed out, I might be an outlier. I don't know. Like I love Disney cartoons, I love Pixar, I love Marvel, and Star Wars. But for some reason, when that's my only options, I start to veer. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go watch porn. But
okay, well, I mean, 90 seconds later, you can jump right back on. I mean,
excuse me, 100 seconds. But
first of all, anybody
give me the benefit of the doubt.
Anybody who takes long to masturbate has a problem. It's like, you know what to do, you know the spot. This is a business decision. We're not getting intimate with our hand here.
Hey, sometimes you gotta wine and dine, and you're just in that mood, the right lighting.
It's getting sad that my hand is old reliable. Like, a girl will text me and I'll be like,
You gotta wash your hand before you introduce yourself again. It's like, oh no, clean yourself up, buddy.
Well, I was blessed to be a lefty, so so I regularly have this just nasty, filthy hand over here as I hold it behind my back as I reach out my right to introduce a new person, and then when I start getting close to a woman, I just bring it up to her face. It's like my pheromone.
Anyways, the Mandalorian's fantastic.
My green Yoda hand.
Your disgusting green Yoda hand.
Wash this, I must.
That 50-year-old hand.
Oh, God, my left hand's so callous. It's like shaking hands with a droid.
I'm editing this out.
Oh no, you're not.
I know, I'm not. I had the tools to edit this out. I guess I won't. We'll see. So far, I was the first one to actually catch wind of its early launch, because apparently people were getting it as early as midnight that night on Xbox and PlayStation 4. I didn't get it downloaded till 2 a.m. And of course, the first thing I did was go straight to The Mandalorian. And
we all did.
We all did. I think everyone did. And not gonna lie,
happy with it.
I like the fact that it was like to the point. It was 35 minutes, 39 minutes long, I think.
It wasn't a long episode,
46.
Yeah. Incoming spoilers, everybody.
Yeah, spoilers for days. And I don't know, maybe because, you know what? I'm going to say one thing. One of my biggest gripes with Netflix and all the other channels or streaming networks and their shows, for some reason they feel obligated to make them an hour long or an hour and 5 minutes long. Every now and then you might come across a short episode that's 49 minutes long, but like, I kind of think Disney and Favreau and those guys were kind of like, you know what? We're just going to do this right. This feels like a right edit, right cut, and we're just going to launch it out there. There you go. 35 minutes. I mean, here you go, world.
Solid introduction to the character.
Yeah, like,
and the end of the episode, now you know kind of where it's going. It did everything it needed to do.
Well, in a non-commercial world, you've been kind of brainwashed into thinking, all right, I'm watching an hour long of network television, 44 minutes. Okay, I'm watching an hour or 30 minutes of network comedy. Okay, it's going to be 22 minutes. It's
I think anything longer than 45 minutes in the show, I think, starts to drag a little bit.
Exactly. Literally.
45 is like my line.
Like, there are a few episodes of the Marvel shows on Netflix that I swear to God feel like 3 hours. And you're sitting there like, oh my God, just end. Like, can we skip to the end? Like, please stop.
Some of them get so long, you're not even sure if you're on the next episode yet. Like, did I look down and text and I missed the opening credits over again?
Yeah, right. No, that's happened. So, like, I genuinely think maybe Disney and those guys have taken note. Like, well, we don't have to have hour-long episodes. We don't have to have 30-minute long. We're just going to put out episodes, and like, I wouldn't be shocked if the next episode's like 32 or 42 minutes long or 44. Every episode's going to be different. It's going to be nice, cut, and concise, and it'll tell a proper story and narrative, and I really like that actually about this show.
You're giving it a little too much credit, because the 46 minutes is perfect for a re-air on television without having to cut anything in about 5 to 10 years. And I think all of them are, like you said, though, the network length, which again, as as you guys were saying, the hour-long ones do drag a little bit, and that 44 to 47, 48 is kind of perfect, because you're like, it's short, quick enough to where it's like, oh, I can watch this whenever I want, but it's long enough to get all the information out there. So I think yes, there is some, hey, we don't want to pad it needlessly, but I think the other part is like, oh, we can immediately air this on a commercial television network without having to edit anything. No. So in about several years, it's like that's going to reappear. The music, I was impressed by the score. The score was ridiculously good. I was immediately engaged with that. That was really nice.
Well, no, the score was easily my favorite thing about this. Well, no. Just everything about it looked good.
I just like I think the people that made this understand Star Wars. Well, completely.
Well, that's what I was saying in our group chat. Dave Filoni, who's the guy who directed it, and by the way, it looks like it's an episode of Rebels. It looks like an episode of Clone Wars. It looks the way it's like, okay, this what it would look like if this dude directed a live action anything Star Wars. And I'm like, even the ending, the way they end it with the music coming up, swelling in, and the hand reaches out, and you're like, I know who directed this. If you're a Star Wars guy, you're normies, you're people that don't really give a shit about Star Wars, or people that just are movie nerds. They're like, okay, that was good. But like, as a person who's watched all those shows, like this dude, he's like their Feige. He really is. If you watch Clone Wars and the way he's storied out everything, and he's the one who brought back Darth Maul. He's the one who's he's even created one of the more popular characters in the last 30 years for Star Wars, Ahsoka. So, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like he's actually the one that's show running this. It's got Jon Favreau's name on it, but I think at the end of the day, these next, there's 8 episodes total, or is it going to be 6? 8? I think the next 7 episodes, you'll really realize who's actually in charge of this show. They got Jon Favreau's for the name, but Dave is going to be there, and eventually I think he will be the name that's going to be the Feige for Star Wars. Like, I know Feige's now involved with Star Wars, and
yeah, Feige's going to be the Feige for Star Wars.
I don't know about that. I think at the end of the day, I think Feige will realize that he probably does have somewhat of a passion for Star Wars, but I highly doubt he's as passionate about Star Wars as he is about MCU or Marvel. Because, I mean, if he is, good God, that would be a little, that'd be too much, I think the brain can only handle one obsessive fandom.
If he can do both, that guy just deserves an altar.
Like
worship.
They're gonna have to freeze him in carbonite and just ship him around to the different expos when he dies.
That was also one of my favorite parts of the episode. I can bring you in hot or cold.
Yeah,
and you thought cold meant dead, but it didn't.
No, not at all. Like the intro, it gives you that whole American Western, okay, this is the lone gunman walking into town and all that. And I kind of feel that's going to be the vibe for the rest of the show. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I liked it. Like, I don't know what to say. Like
the way they, or I don't know if it's Pedro Pascal who actually did his research, or they're just telling him to do this. The way he keeps his sentences so short. Just like, a Mandalorian would do. It's fantastic.
Well, yeah, Mandalorian.
Quick, short, to the point. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, concise. Just boom, boom. No need to, no. IG-11 was fantastic. The droid. What was it? Taika Waititi?
The best droid action scene I've seen in a Star Wars anything. That thing was pretty sick. The way it rotated and turned around and just pew, pew, pew.
Clone Wars, they had the same type of droids. Mm-hmm. They actually toned it down a little bit. In the show, those things are like crawling around like almost like a spider on the walls and stuff like that. And being able to do a bunch of other creepier things. I think that would have been a bit much.
the ones in the prequels that could like roll out and then pop up and have shields are pretty cool too.
Yeah. But I mean,
I know we don't like to talk about the prequels, but there were some cool things.
That's actually one of the last things I watched on Disney+. I watched Revenge of the Sith.
Well, you set yourself up for failure. Come on now. You put yourself in a position to get bored. Like, hey, let me stare at a turd and see if I still want to stand in this spot.
You know what? It's okay. So what they didn't talk about actually, and I read up on this, is that prior to Lucas selling over the Star Wars name, he was working on 3D and 4K cuts of all the movies. So they released Episode 1 in 3D. Everyone went to go see it. That's how it got to $1 billion at the box office, actually, because of that re-release. And then Disney bought them. So they kind of scrapped the whole re-release of all the movies in 3D. They're even going to do the original trilogy in 3D, which would have been interesting nonetheless. I don't know how that could have worked, but they were going to do it. And But this is the first time we've actually, since they bought Fox, they reintroduced the whole Fox logo, which for me was always synonymous with these movies.
Well, yeah, when I clicked, I watched A New Hope, and it said Fox Studios. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, you hear the music, like, oh, wait. This is when I grew up watching this shit on, like, USA or USA Network or, like, on HBO even, when they used to show Star Wars all the time. You would see, at least for me as a child, you would see that Fox logo, and you're like, oh, my God, is this Star Wars? Because that's what for me, my brain is always associated with that, so it was actually kind of cool to see that again. Oh, another thing with The Mandalorian, they kind of had, Star Wars now has their own little, like, Marvel intro. Did you see that? It was actually really, really cool.
I really like the end credit art, too. That was really good.
Yeah. The, kind of gives you an idea where the show's going, because they didn't really have next week on Mandalorian.
And they didn't drop it all at once. We're getting weekly episodes.
I personally like that.
I kind of like it. It gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah, instead of, like,
especially with only 8 episodes. So it's not that long.
Oh, no, but it also gives us something to talk about.
7.5 weeks, because we got one on Tuesday and we're getting one
on Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
They're kind of doing the opposite of what Apple did kind of both. They released
They dropped 3?
They dropped 3 of the original content, and then they're dropping it weekly. So, tomorrow we'll get a new episode of the morning show, which is, I don't know if anyone else watched that, but good show. Love it a lot. A lot of Me Too commentary, though, I will say, because it's kind of pretty much, they're kind of like depicting an idea, like almost like the Matt Lauer situation, where, he got booted. He's like America's most beloved newsman.
Sounds like something I have no interest in ever watching.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't like it, but I like it. It's really good. Reese Witherspoon is fantastic on that show. So is Steve Carell playing the Matt Lauer type. You're like, wait, that's Steve Carell. Oh, he's not playing the same Steve Carell? Okay, I can get behind this. So, yeah. Anything else you guys checked out on there? Did anyone watch Lady and the Tramp? I know Jerry here watched
everything.
He spent 18 hours watching everything.
So I woke up at about 4:15 a.m. and I saw that you had posted that you were on Disney+. So I immediately go in, refresh the page, get the app download. So watch The Mandalorian. I watched the first episode of World According to Jeff Goldblum.
That was good.
Which is really entertaining.
Mainly just to see Jeff Goldblum's running form.
Bop. He's a bopper.
Yeah. I don't know. What is this bopping you speak of?
And then he tried. It's like, okay, I'll run, and he immediately bops into it again. And then I watched Noelle, which is the Bill Hader Anna Kendrick Christmas movie, which was a fine Christmas movie. It was fun.
Is Bill Hader?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know he was in it. Now I'm gonna watch it.
It's that's what I was waiting to see if you had interest. You had none, so I'm going to throw out the bait on it.
I'm in now.
He's pretty funny in it too. He plays Nick Kringle, who takes over for Santa Claus, but wants no part of it. He wants to find himself.
Okay.
Does he do the dying tauntaun noise? Have you ever seen him do that?
I have seen him do that, but I don't think he did that. But it's funny because he wants to go to Phoenix and be a yoga instructor. It's pretty good. And you can clearly see it's like, oh, they're going to do a bunch of these. And if you like Anna Kendrick at all, it's Anna. And then I watched, let's see, after that I went and searched out the 1979 Spider-Woman series because they have all of the animated series, including X-Men, the animated series.
I saw a 1997 Silver Surfer series. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'm clicking that next.
I admit, the 90s had the Silver Surfer, they had a Fantastic Four, and they had an Avengers series, and they're all on there, and I missed out on those.
Didn't they have an Iron Man show too?
Yes, because they did a re-release of the toys, which was involved with that. Going back to Ike Perlmutter, who's no longer in charge of anything important at Marvel except the actual publishing of the comics and the gaming and the licensing. Feige is now in charge of all the important stuff, which means that Hickman's run on X-Men now will be the basis for what they do in the movies. Let's see. Then I went to the National Geographic part. I watched Finding Alexander's Tomb, Easter Island, and another one which I can't remember right now.
You didn't watch it or Crown Jewel, Free Solo?
I saw Free Solo when it aired on CNN. I'll watch it again, but that's that. I was going through everything else first. I watched all of the Forces of Destiny shorts, which were all like both seasons of that. I watched the entire season of Ant-Man shorts, which are all like 1 minute long, which is perfect. And then I watched the first episode of X-Men, the animated series. I saw that they have Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which I'm going to go and hit after I finished watching the 16 horrible, terrible episodes of Spider-Woman.
You're going to finish it.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to finish it. It's exactly as bad as I remember, and it's even worse seeing it now. She shoots her webs out of her index finger, and she does the Wonder Woman twirl to change into her costume. It is so god-awful. And Spider-Man appears in a couple of episodes. Dormammu is in the second episode. It's ridiculously weird. Dracula is a villain in one of the later ones. It is god awful. And if anybody has any sort of thing, it's like, oh, these superhero movies, they changed this from the comics in the MCU. This is awful. Anybody who complains about that, show them Spider-Woman. It's like, this is what we had to deal with.
Or show them the Spider-Man series for Japan.
Oh, who's going to appear in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse sequel? They've confirmed that the Japanese Spider-Man is going to be in that.
Shut up. How did I not hear about that? Because literally, okay, first off, the Japanese Spider-Man,
I've never even heard of it.
well,
Hit me, please.
well, I just opened up an entire portal of shit for you because I'm going to tell you something. First, you got to watch. They have an honest trailer for it, actually, because it's hilarious. They're like, wait, this is a real thing? So you watch the honest trailer, you get a feel for what the show's about, which is they changed everything about the source material. Like, literally, he's fighting mechs. Like, I
mean, in some of the 90s Spider-Man cartoons, he fights the Spider Slayers that Alistair Smythe makes.
No. I'm talking like OG anime mechs. Like, almost like a Godzilla style.
Like Gundams?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
And then he gets even like the things he says, he curses and does all kinds of shit, and he yells at everything. Like, it's so Japanese.
Kind of like Tom Holland.
It's incredibly Japanese.
Shit! Oh my god!
Like I don't know how else to put it. It's just Japanese as hell. What else did you watch?
I put down the list of everything. I watched about 4 different documentaries from National Geographic. I'm trying to get through as many of the series before I just loop Rogue One forever on the phone. But I was looking through like I'm probably going to go try and watch all of the Disney animated movies in order. I did watch Steamboat Willie, which has, of course, the promo, the warning in front of it. Some of these depictions could be insensitive for the times in which they were made.
Excuse our old racist shit. Sign Disney.
Fucking Slate Magazine or .com ran a thing about how this warning's not enough for some people watching Disney+. I'm like, what? The fact they're even putting a warning out there, I think, is too much.
It's kind of like when they say, warning, don't go in the tiger cage, and you go in the tiger cage.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I mean, like, some of these things are culture inappropriate today. I'm like, no shit, but get over it. Like, sorry, guys. I mean, I'm actually kind of pissed they didn't put Songs of the South in there, to be honest with you. Like, I was really looking forward to watching that. I guess I'll have to rely on finding it on eBay, but
why do you need to see it so badly?
If you find it on eBay, it's going to be a rip of a rip of a rip, because the only actual release on it, they did have a video release way late in the early 80s, but the last actual release of it was a Japanese Laserdisc. So anything that's not the Japanese Laserdisc is a rip of a rip of a rip of something.
I might have to buy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might have to buy the Japanese Laserdisc and buy myself a Laserdisc player, because just for sheer unintentional comical reasons, that movie is hysterical. I'm sorry. I know it's not okay in today's PC world, but damn it. If you want to take...
When I worked at Media Play, that was one of the most popular requested movies, was Song of the South. Everybody wanted it. Song of the South 2 is available on Disney+, but not the first Song of the South. And then they have... I'm probably going to rewatch the... Return to Witch Mountain, Escape from Witch Mountain, Flight of the Navigator is on there. I mean, they've got all sorts of things. And then all of the ridiculous sports movies like Heavyweights and all of the Rookie and everything else that they did.
Yeah, they have Rookie of the Year, Sandlot. They have the Mighty Duck movies. They have they have Miracle, and they have like all those other movies. You kind of forget that Disney was they had Invincible and all that other stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, speaking of which, actually, you know what? Side note, am I the only one here that played Uncharted?
Probably.
On PlayStation 4?
I'm aware of this. This is ridiculous.
Oh my god. So there's a character in that show who's supposed to be Nathan Drake's mentor. His name's Sully. Older gentleman, has seen some shit. He's got a gruff voice. And they went ahead and cast Mark Wahlberg for the role, which I think they did it because Sully, to me, sounds like a Boston name.
Well, you always cast Mark Wahlberg when The Rock's not available.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's like arguably the most miscast. Like, I sent y'all a link on YouTube to give you an example of what kind of character Sully is and how
it doesn't matter. Mark Wahlberg's going to play Mark Wahlberg.
That's exactly why it's the worst casting ever.
Is Sully from Boston in the show?
No.
The game, he is now.
I know. He's going to do that whole Mark Wahlberg, exasperated, like, confused. Like, I don't want that. Like, he's supposed to be knowledgeable and like, I don't know.
We're getting Pain and Gain, Mark Wahlberg.
The funny thing about this is that Uncharted has been in turnaround for so long. Tom Holland is the Drake character. Is that Wahlberg was originally casted that, and then it's been so long that now he's playing the old guy character.
I mean, listen, internet guys, we got Sega.
I was just cyberbully them into submission.
We got Sega to redesign Sonic, and mind you guys, you know what? That movie's gonna make $100 million now because I saw a meme that says, "Guys, go support this movie. Let them know that we didn't bitch for nothing. We will make this movie. We will make it a hit. It might be the first super successful movie, like a video game movie ever."
Detective Pikachu wasn't bad.
Yeah, but Detective
Made
Pikachu
like $450 million.
It underperformed as far as I'm concerned. That movie was supposed to.
You just said Sonic's going to make 100.
No, I was talking about domestically.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
like I don't really think the rest of the world really bitched about that. That was very much an American thing. Like, how dare you change my Sonic? But anyways, we successfully forced the video game company to do the right thing, and I think we need to go ahead and force Sony and Naughty Dog and those guys over there to do the right thing and get rid of Marky Mark as fucking Sully.
I don't get why they made Sonic look so bad when in the end of the first trailer they made. So Jim Carrey starts out as like doesn't look like Robotnik, but at the end of the first trailer they make him look just like him. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's gonna probably something's
gonna happen, and that's gonna be like a post-credit scene for the sequel, where he looks like that now.
Yeah. If we get a sequel, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it might go full Power Rangers on us.
I actually liked the Power Rangers.
It wasn't bad.
It was good.
Wasn't bad, especially in the first scene where the guy jerks off a bull.
I forgot about that scene.
Me too, because it caught me so off guard. I was like, oh, they realized that the kids that watch this show aren't kids anymore.
And wait,
Is it part of the Kingpin universe?
Was we don't know how to bull. I got you. I milked the cow. We ain't got no cow. We got a bull. Yeah, I had to work her up. She took a while, but what she got going? She was going.
It's such a recycled joke because that's in City Slickers as well. It's either City Slickers or City Slickers 2, Curly's Gold. I think it's City Slickers 2.
It's a fantastic joke.
John Lovitz does it.
It's a fantastic joke, though.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I love Kingpin. Nice drop there, Jerry. That movie holds up so well. And what's her face from Weird Science reboot?
Angel.
Yeah. The beer scene gets me every time. And Bill Murray just being Bill Murray.
Bill Murray is timeless.
He's timeless in that movie.
It's the best bad hair movie ever.
Yeah,
I love that.
It just progressively gets worse,
worse and worse.
It's just we can't even describe it with words.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry about that tangent.
It was a good one.
So yeah. For me, Disney Plus is great. Don't get me wrong. They are missing some things. I personally was talking about how I think the Spider-Man, the MCU Spider-Man movies not being on there is kind of glaring. All things considered. I don't know. I was like, okay, they have every other movie, but they don't have those.
Technically, not all of them. They're all there, but some of them are you can click them, but they're not coming for a future date. It's like the ones still on Netflix aren't there yet.
Well, they're not gonna.
All you can do is like watch the trailer for it.
There aren't too many.
Ragnarok, Ant-Man and Wasp, Black Panther, and I think there's one more. Infinity War. Captain Marvel, you can watch. I watched it. I rewatched it.
Infinity War still up there?
Yeah, Infinity War you're not getting until like May of next year.
See, what I love is the fact
that Endgame's there.
What I love is the fact that they're all in 4K.
Yeah.
None of those movies on Netflix are 4K. So like that's one of the big grabs for me. Is like, okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna watch me some Endgame and watch me some everything in 4K.
The thing is, you're being absurdly critical about a streaming service in its infancy compared to one that's been around for like 20 something years.
No. I'm just talking about some of the things they're missing. Even like I was talking about the Paperman short.
Of course, it's missing. It's first week.
I know, but I'm just saying we're gonna have everything available immediately, and that we're even gonna have all the shorts. I'm like, well, where's Paperman? Damn it! I was very disappointed not to have that.
When all the original content starts coming out, all those Marvel shows, you're gonna come crawling back.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna keep paying my $6.99. I'm just like,
I already paid it for the year. I'm stuck.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna see that's not gonna be my go-to app for when I need noise in the background. Simple enough. Like. No.
My new favorite background noise is Gordon Ramsay, Uncharted. Hearing him say weird shit to people.
Wait, so is Gordon Ramsay Uncharted kind of a cheap attempt to make a Parts Unknown?
Maybe.
Is that what it is?
Pretty sure.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's like the first one. I watched the first episode. He goes to Peru, and they talk about like getting your produce at altitude and how it changes the taste and more flavor and stuff like that. So he goes to Peru, and then he has a cook-off with a guy, and they show up with a skinned alpaca, and they have to pick which part they want to make their meal with.
Well, sign me up. I'm watching that. Any guinea pig.
So
I think episode 2 or 3 is New Zealand.
episode 2 is New Zealand. I haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah, he starts, they say, when you get to a new place and you have to adjust to the altitude, they say no climbing for a good about 6 hours. I've been here for 6 minutes. And they immediately make him climb a mountain.
But no, here's one thing. The pluses about Disney Plus is they
You got to use a different word. That's too confusing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Benefits.
the benefits and positives of Disney Plus are, for me, you know what? The original content so far is actually pretty good. They're definitely putting their money where their mouth is. Have you ever seen a pilot episode of any show look that good?
No.
Like, ever? Like,
No.
That, it looked amazing.
$120 million budget for that show.
Yeah, it looks like that episode cost $20 million.
Yeah,
at least. So, like, you know, almost close to $25-30 million per episode. I mean, that's
we got ship action. We got gun action.
We got a droid.
Yeah, we had a massive monster trying to take out the ship in the first fucking 2 minutes.
And even there, though, like, they still use practical costume effects for the characters. You're like, this looks good.
That blue dude looked really good.
They brought the aesthetic of the original trilogy into this movie, and it doesn't look overly CGI like the prequel trilogy. So, you know, it's a good balance of the two, I think. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll have to watch the next episode tomorrow, and we'll have a better idea of where the show's heading. I definitely think it's going to be... He's obviously not killing the baby, so he's going to have the baby. He might be on the run now, so...
Yep, he's double-crossing some people. That's what's happening.
He's not a bounty hunter anymore now, though. He's going to be on the run. He's going to be the bounty. Like, I don't know. We'll see. I was kind of hoping for a more like, ooh, we're gonna go hunt down criminals every week, and then they kind of threw that curveball. But I'm gonna enjoy it no matter what.
That would have got stale.
Procedural.
Literally, hunting down criminals is more of a hero than this guy is.
He didn't kill the Yoda. And here's the thing is, you know,
That's a 50-year-old baby.
That is a 50-year-old baby. You know, we don't even know the name of the species, do we?
No,
we just refer to him.
Everyone keeps calling it a Yoda.
Yeah, I know, that drives me kind of crazy.
I think it's got to. Well, isn't there a female Yoda called Yaddle or something?
Yaddle.
Like that? Yeah. So I just really want there to be a flashback Yoda intimacy scene. I don't necessarily want to watch it. I just want it to exist. Like, I want to know that somebody went in the CGI booth and fucking made that. And I want them to use the old school puppet Yoda they did in The Last Jedi. That looks like shit.
You know, I want to know one thing, actually, is those... well, no, I love the fact they brought back the puppet Yoda.
It was amazing. It was great. It was the best nostalgia touch they could have done.
All right, but I'm going to say is... Who do you think hates Salacious B. Crumb? Was it fucking Filoni or Jon Favreau? Because you saw that thing roasting on a spit. And I saw that thing the first time. I did ignore it. I looked down at my phone on my 4th viewing of The Mandalorian. I caught it. I'm like, oh my god, that's a Salacious B. Crumb. Wait, what's the species name? Like, I look it up. Like, it's Salacious B. Crumb. Okay, well, are they crumbs? I guess I'm just gonna refer to them as crumbs. I'm like, that poor thing. And who hates that?
He was a Kowakian monkey lizard.
That's what they're called.
Kowakian monkey lizard.
I prefer just calling them Salacious B. Crumbs. Because
I don't know which one's easier to say. I don't. Monkey lizard just sounds derogatory.
The best thing was the look of the other one in the cage. Is like, that's my friend, with the eyes and everything.
Yeah, and he makes that noise that he always makes from Yoda. He's like,
We're just calling them Kowakians, I guess.
Nope, crumbs.
Monkey lizards.
Monkey fish frogs.
South Park. Who just paid out the ass for South Park? HBO Max? Was it or somebody else?
No. No. It was it HBO Max?
Did they?
I think so.
They paid $500 million.
Yeah.
$500 million for South Park.
I love that South Park is worth that much money.
Well, I mean, honestly, the fact that Disney was able to get The Simpsons out of that Fox deal was actually a steal for them. Because on the open market, who knows what The Simpsons would have fetched? Like, we're talking like $750 million, I'm sure. You have 34 seasons of television, all the nostalgia and everything. Like,
I've yet to click it yet. Is it every single season?
Every season.
I need to just go to the pilot. I need to see it.
Have you never actually? Are you?
I don't remember.
You never really grew up watching
No,
Simpsons?
I mean, I've seen episodes here and there. And by here and there, it's been around so long, I've seen like 50.
No.
The Simpsons is older than him.
This is true. Simpsons did it, though. You'll realize when you start watching that show, like, oh my God, these jokes. I've seen these jokes on these other shows, like South Park and Family Guy. And, of course, they had the episode of South Park where the Simpsons did it. But that's because, literally, when you start watching that show, you realize every plot point ever has already been done by the Simpsons. So it's almost impossible.
Except Simpsons did it. That was fresh.
Yeah, it was actually kind of fresh. Anyway, so, for me, I'm definitely keeping my Disney Plus subscription. I'm keeping my Netflix subscription, too.
For the next pod.
Huh. So, I'm here for it. I'm just going to keep it for the Marvel shows and probably, you said you started watching Agents of Carter?
Agent Carter, yeah, I'm like 3 episodes in.
Agent Carter, not Agents of Carter. Agent Carter.
I've seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all but the next season that's coming up.
I haven't watched the last 2 seasons. I heard they're really good, though.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is just my supreme background noise.
Yeah.
I pay attention enough to know what's going on.
Well, yeah. Anything else, guys? Have you all seen any movies or want to talk about anything else? Because as of right now, the movie season has been pretty slim. I went and saw the new Terminator. I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked their use of how... Spoilers. You haven't seen it yet.
I don't care.
You don't give a shit? Yeah, see, he's the reason why that movie didn't make a lot of money, and we're not going to get any more, because that movie does not nearly... The studio, I think...
I just think it's great that in 2019 we had a Terminator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and a Rambo movie with Sylvester Stallone. In 2019.
And they both flopped.
Yeah.
And I think the studios have completely...
It's reboot time.
No, I think these franchises are dead time. Like
probably, yeah.
I think
we'll see them in 10 years.
The studios overestimated the nostalgia and how big of a cultural impact Terminator made compared to Star Wars.
Arnold's just not the Terminator anymore. Look at him.
Yeah, that's true. But the chick that they got to play the lead in that movie was fantastic. I'm not quite sure what her name was, but she was fucking awesome. Mackenzie Davis. Great job. I loved her.
Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, yeah. Is that... So she's the... Okay. And the one that she ends up... Yeah. Porkin. Great job. Loved it. I actually liked the fact they killed off John Connor within the first 2 minutes. Like I said, spoiler alerts, guys. And you're just kind of like, huh? Where is this going? Oh, they did it. Okay. You're like, yeah. Kill your past. Like... Good job. Very, 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 very Star Wars of you. So, Last Jedi of you. Let's see.
Disagree. That was the only useful thing of any of the sequels. Terminator 3, whatever, Rise of the Machines, that was when they delayed
3 was bad.
It was awful, but they had the one good idea that even though they got rid of Termination Day or whatever, they still couldn't stop the AI coming in some way. And that's the one aspect that they took of any of the sequels, the only one that mattered. And that was the thing that Dark Fate did, is that, yes, they stopped Skynet, but they didn't stop this other version of it. Yeah. And I thought it was really entertaining. Mackenzie Davis was really good. Gabrielle Luna, who was Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., was great as the villain. I liked the clever thing they did the machine with having the skeleton and the exo body of the liquid version, and kind of having the two, so occasionally you had to fight or defend yourself against two of them. It was so much better. That first trailer did such a disservice to it, because you're looking at it like, this doesn't look good. But it was a lot better than that. But it is the thing. It's like, it would have been much better 10 years ago, 15 years. If this was the third movie, much like last Dark Phoenix, if that was the third X-Men movie, it would have been a lot better.
Salvation and Genesis just fucking...
Awful.
Well, people forget about them. And you know what? So did Dark Fate.
Genesis was fucking trash.
Genesis, yeah.
Oh, my God. Such an awful movie. I don't know... And no, that talk about trailers that fucked everything up. That movie literally gave away its biggest fucking oh my God moment. Like
Batman vs Superman did it worst. Batman vs Superman trailer.
I don't know about that.
Giving away Doomsday.
Yeah, but also at the same time, Genocide's trailer gave away that John Connor was the fucking Terminator in the trailer. Like, you didn't know that. There was no reason why we had to know that. Like,
nope, not at all.
That would have been a very much oh shit kind of moment, but no. You got it in the trailer, like, well, okay, that there's that, because that movie originally started out with a different Terminator, and you're just like, oh shit, okay, here we go, and then here's John Connor, and then out of nowhere, John Connor's the Terminator, and you're like, oh no, trailer spoiled that. Doomsday, you know what? It was ruined. That would have been a cool big surprise, but at the same time, yeah, we kind of knew.
We knew something was coming, but you didn't know something that big. To us people that actually follow the comic books know how big Doomsday's first appearance should have been. Doomsday is massive. He's a dark side, not as big as Darkseid, but he's like the next thing.
He's more like a.
He killed Superman, though.
Yeah.
He won. He actually won.
He beat
won.
Superman.
That's because they always describe him as basically an indestructible force of nature, as opposed to
you can't beat him. The only how Superman beat him, he lobotomized him so he was still alive and couldn't come back.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, Dark Fate. Anyone go see the Dr. Sleep movie?
I did not.
I have not seen it. It flopped as well. That Midway movie was actually #1 this weekend on the box office.
Not bad.
Was it good?
Well, the thing that's a tendency of World War II movies, Pearl Harbor started with Pearl Harbor, but the climax of the movie isn't Pearl Harbor, it's the Doolittle raid. Midway started with Pearl Harbor. There's a passing detour toward the Doolittle raid as well, with Aaron Eckhart, who has a chin of a World War II hero, and then finishes with the Battle of Midway. It wasn't bad. I mean, it's a perfectly fine movie that will get played around Memorial Day ad infinitum, and it had a lot of people in that. You're like, oh, look, it's got that guy, it's got that guy. And this might be, going back to Kingpin and the Bad Hair Day, this might be the best hairpiece Woody Harrelson's had since he actually had hair. It's amazing the way that he's got this World War II gray part military cut thing going on there. That's some impressive wig work. I did see Current War, which I liked a lot.
I went and saw Current War as well. I'm indifferent about it. It was good. It was fine. I definitely see why it was delayed 5 years. 2 years, but whatever. But it's also mostly because of the whole what's his face? Oh my god. The Me Too guy. Producer.
Weinstein.
Yes, Weinstein. The movie got delayed because of Weinstein, because that was supposed to be Weinstein's last major push for an Academy Award. That's not happening, obviously, with that movie. Not bad. I didn't really like the fact that it really had nothing to do with Tesla. They kind of
It was minor.
It was very minor. It had more to do with Westinghouse, which, hey, you know what? Kind of cool, because Westinghouse doesn't get enough love. He definitely was pushing the better technology, and of course, I like the fact this movie finally someone depicted fucking Edison as a cunt, because Edison was a cunt. If you go back and watch your history docs and read some books, Edison was just a marketer and a liar. That's all he was good at.
Well, this is one of the things I was telling people about, is like the Current War is terrifically interesting because this is the most uniquely American movie you'll ever see, because both Edison and Tesla are the American dream. The one guy who gets credit for all the work that people get to him because he's got a vision, but he doesn't know how to do it, like the promoter guy. And then the one person who actually comes in as the immigrant and has all the work and the genius and succeeds because he's better at it than everybody else. Both of it.
But Tesla never succeeds. He actually ends up dying in a hotel room, broke as shit.
Well, no, see, that's different. He never became wealthy. He did succeed, because we are broadcasting this now because of DC power.
Very true, very true. But he also, oh man, Edison burned. They didn't even go into the fact that he burned down his labs in Denver and all those other things that happened. Because I think, what was it?
Colorado Springs.
Yeah, Colorado Springs. The Prestige actually kind of goes into it, where David Bowie plays him and did a pretty good job on that. But I mean, it was a good movie, passable, way quicker. The time flies.
Yeah,
like
it moves.
It moves. It was a good movie. Have we recorded? Did we record after Joker came out? I don't think we have recorded at all. You guys want to talk about Joker?
That's the last movie I saw.
We saw it, but I don't think you did.
Saw what?
Joker.
I saw it opening night.
Oh, we did. He hadn't.
Yeah. I hadn't. Did we? Was that the last time we recorded? Yeah. Holy shit, it's been a while. So Joker. Shockingly enough, I think it's boring. But
that's your second viewing. You liked it more after your first.
I liked it. First viewing, I thought it was okay. I don't think it had rewatchability. Second viewing kind of confirmed that for me. It's like, all right, kind of skip to the stair scene where he's dancing, and that's where the movie starts to get good. Or actually, just skip to the subway scene. Listen, guys, that movie's been out now for over a month. It's about to cross $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
It's like 2 months.
No, it came out October 4th.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It feels like forever ago, doesn't it? It's crazy. Frozen 2 comes out pretty soon. I mean, it's November. Thanksgiving's like in 2 weeks. I can't believe that movie's crossing $1 billion. Of all the movies that, if you give me a list of movies to make $1 billion this year, that might have been in my top 10, maybe. But the fact it's going to do it without the Chinese market alone is insane. It's the most profitable comic book movie of all time because it only costs like $55 million to make. And I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance is fantastic, but just overall, that movie is so dour. And that's coming from me. I like dark shit, and even for me, I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about this depiction. I kind of personally think. I don't know. I don't really think it's going to do much in the come award season. What else? What was I going to say? Other than Joker, there was something else. Hey, would you have anything to say about it?
About Joker?
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. I rewatched it for the first time the other day. I think you're wrong on its rewatchability. It's pretty solid. It's a solid movie. It doesn't have to be a comic book movie. It just is. Which is why it's going to make $1 billion.
And I think that the reason it's making $1 billion is because it's combining the two things that separately would only probably get it about 250 to 300, and because they're together, this movie, if Joker wasn't involved, wouldn't have made that money.
No,
and
for sure.
And if it was a Joker movie that didn't go this way, it probably wouldn't have made this amount of money either.
Nope. It shattered the record for the the biggest R-rated movie of all time. The record was like 757. It's about to hit $1 billion. It's going to beat it by a quarter.
It's going to beat it by 33%.
Yeah.
More than that. It's terrifically, and as you guys have heard before, I recognize the fantastically well-made craftsmanship of Seven, but I would never recommend that. And this is close to that. I like the movie. I thought it was terrifically well made. The feel of a late 70s, early 80s New York City. Yes, it's Gotham, but clearly it's supposed to be New York. And the look of the times and the performances are terrific. It's not something I'd ever recommend. That's probably not something I'd watch again. But I'm not about anti-heroes. This is I'm not about seeing the villains.
Well, he's not an anti-hero at all. He's just a villain.
He's straight a villain. The one weird thing that I'll say is like, this is a great example of mental illness. It's like, this is my only one beef about that is all of the people he kills were intentional choices by him of bad people. It's like, although this is very interesting. So you and I were discussing when he appears in Zazie Betz's room and he walks out and he has the blood on the feet. The sound person from the movie has said, "Oh no, he didn't kill her," and it's like
that wasn't the blood on the feet. The blood on the feet is the last scene.
Well, no, at the end, but his feet were wet or something. No, it happened twice when he leaves her apartment and he's walking down, because that's why they repeated it at the end in the sanitarium thing in Arkham at the end. But he said, "Oh no, he didn't." It's like, you're the sound guy, you don't know.
True, yeah. But it's open. It's open to interpretation.
It's clearly open to interpretation. But if he didn't, then all of the people that he killed aren't because of his mental illness, other than the fact that maybe the blurring between right and wrong. But he still made an active choice to kill bad people as opposed to randomly killing people. So that's the only thing that I have as a particular beef. Is like, well, it wasn't really mental illness. Mental illness isn't what caused him to be a killer. He chose to be a killer.
And if you're really that mentally ill, are you that good of a judge of character?
You're not. It's like, and he would have ended up killing the other guy that came to his apartment.
The little guy,
yeah. Which.
That was the funniest part.
I admittedly laughed out loud. I saw it coming and it's like, oh, this is such a bad joke. It's like, oh nope, I'm gonna have to laugh because he jumps. He has the chain lock, which of course is usually 3/4 up the side of the door, and there's a little guy who's probably about just short of 4 feet, maybe a little shorter than that, and he can't reach it after he killed the one guy, and he wants to get out, but he can't. And he's like, oh, you can go, but he jumps to reach out, and then he's like, Do I ask him to help, or is he going to kill me if I ask, or what am I going to do? And he asks, and he lets him out, and he's like, "Have a good day," as he's wiping the blood off his face.
But then when he walks by, he also does the lunge at him too to fuck with him. He's like, ah.
That was actually the most Joker moment, other than the shooting and the talk show. That was the most Joker moment of the entire movie. But whatever.
I was kind of hoping, because that scene was supposed to be more of like they took that from The Dark Knight Returns, but he kills the whole studio audience. I was kind of hoping he'd get a few more people at least, but it was really well done the way he gets Robert De Niro. And then when he shoots him the second time, just for no reason, and then he just like his moment of confusion on what to do with the gun. He's like, and then he sets it down.
Well, this coming week we have Ford v Ferrari.
So excited!
I really can't wait for that movie. It looks fantastic.
Jason Bourne versus Batman. Apparently there's a fight scene, but they fight like real guys who don't know how to fight.
And James Mangold directs it. And if you guys know James Mangold, Logan is the last movie that he directed that everyone really, really liked. I thoroughly loved Logan personally. It's still
one of the best comic book movies ever made.
Top 3 for me. I'm definitely going to go see that. But other than that, we don't really have much else coming up. I mean, we're going to have Frozen 2, but I'm not really sure. Am I going to be the only one to go see that? I think probably.
I mean, the last movie like that, I went and saw How to Train Your Dragon 3 in theaters by myself. I love Toothless.
I mean, everyone does.
I saw Addams Family.
How was Addams Family?
I like the casting. They had Charlize Theron is Morticia. Of course, Oscar Isaac is Gomez. And Chloe Grace Moretz plays Wednesday. They do a little tweaking with her character, but it still works out really well. And because it's animation, you can do a lot more of the sight gags and the things. They actually have Kitty as the lion as their pet. It was fun. I mean, what was the thing that we were talking about last time about like an animated chick that you're like, hey, Charlize Theron voicing Morticia Addams of the Addams Family. It's like that's a good movie.
Since that came out, unfortunately, Pornhub made a parody of it. I don't know if the name Addams Family was clear enough. Not my proudest moment, but
the what else did it say? The Midway, Terminator, Dark Fates, Current War. There's another one coming out this weekend. What's the other one coming out this weekend besides Ford versus Ferrari?
The Good Liar.
The Good Liar. The Good Liar looks interesting. I'm probably going to watch that.
Well, for me, next week, of course, it'd be Frozen. I mean, there's actually 3 really good movies coming out next week, which actually made me think that Thanksgiving was coming out next week, but it's not actually.
Yeah, they want to get the week ahead.
Yeah, they want to get the week ahead. So we have next week we have Frozen 2, 21 Bridges, which is from wow, my brain's just not there today. Go ahead.
21 Bridges has one of the greatest lines I've ever seen in a trailer. So Chadwick Boseman is in it, and apparently he shot somebody. So one of the police officers calls him, "Oh, you're the trigger," and he responds, "You better have perfect diction to call me that."
And it's actually the Russo brothers' first movie since leaving the MCU. Well, they haven't quite left the MCU, but they've taken a break. Then we also have Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the Tom Hanks led Mr. Rogers movie. I don't know. I mean, that documentary I thought was enough, and then the movie I'm actually really excited about is Knives Out.
That's it. So excited for that.
That Knives Out movie, which kind of gives you that Clue vibe, and it also has the cast. That cast alone is fantastic. I mean, you have Chris Evans.
Who's the director?
Who is the director? Rian Johnson. There we go. Excuse me.
We get crude, funny Chris Evans for the first time in a decade.
Chris Evans, Daniel Craig.
Back to his roots.
Michael Shannon, Christopher Plummer, Toni Collette. I mean, this cast is fantastic. Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson.
It's loaded.
Right? And from Rian Johnson, I do believe he wrote and directed it. So,
you didn't even get to the investigators.
Well, the investigators are wait, who are the investigators? I thought it was Daniel Craig.
And Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh, yeah. So that movie looks fantastic. We'll see about that.
Lakeith Stanfield, the only good part of Death Note, which I just read, the sequel is a go.
Oh, god damn it!
Right?
Why?
How dare they ruin my perfect anime?
Yeah, they did.
Speaking of which, something we forgot to talk about: Watchmen. I'm only 2 episodes in.
I'm only 2 episodes in as well. Did anyone watch his Dark Materials?
Not yet. I haven't recorded.
I watched the first episode. I didn't really watch it though, so I have to rewatch it. I can't really give much of an opinion. It looks great. It's shot well. The cast looks fantastic. It has a vibe that it's actually made for young adults. It doesn't seem like a actual HBO dark gritty series, so I have to kind of like go through that. Watchmen has so far, the first 2 episodes I've seen have been great.
You're gonna watch the Dark Materials because it's written by an atheist.
Good point. Shh. We're not here to talk about that on this cast. This is not a political.
We're not talking about that. I'm saying why you watch it.
This is a godless heathen cast. So yeah, a lot coming up. Has anyone watching The Flash?
I've been watching Batwoman, which is terrifically awful garbage, which I expect it to be, which is just the amount of entertaining. But Rachel Skarsten, who was the canary from the Birds of Prey series in the early 2000s, of which Ashley Scott is going to appear as Huntress in Crisis on Infinite Earths. is and she's a fantastic villain playing Alice in Batwoman. It's exactly what I expect it to be. It's great, quick background noise. I enjoy it. It's probably going to get canceled in a couple weeks, but I will watch The Crisis on Infinite Earths. One series that premiered on Starz this past weekend called The Dublin Murders, which is right up probably most of our alleys. It's a serial killer thing from the past where they discover a new body that goes matched to that, and the police officer investigating was the brother of the sister who was killed in the past. So it's like, I'm all into this, and I haven't even watched the first episode. But that's a limited series on Starz, so I'm going to that's one of the things that's brand new that I'm really interested in watching.
Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut this episode a little short because we got to get into sports talk. But anything?
Knives Out.
Huh?
Knives Out.
Knives Out. Go see Knives Out, guys. Oh, I do want to go see Jojo Rabbit too. I haven't seen that yet. That looks fantastic.
Parasite.
That looks worth
Oh yeah, Parasite. I started watching it already, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's good. It's really, really good, and it's funny. It's really, really funny, but it's dark fucking humor. And then once it takes a turn, you're like, oh shit, wait, what? This is dark, really, really dark, and really gives you. It's definitely a good satire on the current state of things in this planet in general. But definitely go see Parasite, guys. It's actually already. It's actually the biggest per screen average for its release. It actually did better than Endgame for per screen, which is insane.
That happens on independent movies.
This is true, but also at the same time, though, like 5 theaters, they made like $80,000 per screen, which is that's huge. Like this movie has a lot. It's already made over $100 million worldwide. Go see it if you have a chance. It's in Korean, but you know what? It's worth it. Anyways, guys, anything for you, Josh?
Nope, I think I'm all good.
All right, Jerry, go see Parasite and
Joaquin Phoenix for an Oscar.
He'll get nominated.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
He'll get nominated.
That's all
but,
I mean.
I mean, as of right now, I still think he's probably the front runner because I haven't really seen any other. I need to go see the new Shia LaBeouf movie. Apparently,
The one about his own life.
Yeah, about his kind of like his own
He plays his dad.
Biographical pick. Apparently, he's really good.
Honey
at that.
Boy.
Yes.
Yeah, Honey Boy.
Yeah.
I got to see that. They're saying he might be a front runner, which is could be the
It'll be interesting to see if he gets lead for that or supporting for Peanut Butter, whatever.
Peanut Butter Falcon. Peanut Butter Falcon was so good. I don't think he deserves.
But that may be the trade-off.
True. I don't think he's that good.
Are they going to nominate the kid for lead?
I hope he's so good in that movie. Anyways, well, they should also nominate Jake the Snake Roberts for Best Supporting. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. This has been Simon Says Pop.